morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigan, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games and scream our way through horror video games. I am Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. Thank you for that hype train, y'all. Hype for all the resubs and such. Very much appreciated. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, our long-running Pulp Cthulhu campaign. Before we go around and meet everyone and their characters and talk to them, see how they're feeling after near-death and actual death experiences, we have some channel stuff to do. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, starting with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We're part of their Spotlight program, which highlights indie TTRPG creators, content creators all across the interwebs, and we are very lucky to be partnered with them. Actually, we have a giveaway today, y'all. We have a giveaway of the Grand Grimoire for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. So on Roll20, you can get this and you will have access to pretty much every single spell out there. It's awesome. I used it to kind of inspire the spell casting flavor that we're doing for this campaign, which we got into last time.
Yeah, so I'll get that started now.
Thank you, bless. So blessed. So all you have to do is !giveaway in chat now, and you'll be able to get that on Roll20. It's really dope. Also, we are affiliates with Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee Co., two awesome organizations. If you like your physical click-clacks or your soaked bean juice that gets you through the day, then these are two great companies to support. We have discount codes and we have affiliate links. They'll be coming up in chat. They're also down below in the panels. So yeah, you can help support us, support them. We partner with good folks, so you cannot go wrong. Of course, we have tip incentives listed down below under Affect the Game. If you would like to impact what is going on, you could literally save a life. It is always appreciated, but it's never expected. But thank you in advance. And thank you to everybody who's just chilling in chat, lurking, watching, commenting on YouTube, doing all those things. We really appreciate you being here. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X, N, and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings, because while the characters may be put through hell or die to a poison dart in the back unexpectedly, the players are here to have fun. And they are our priority always. Without further ado, we should talk to them. Kienna, who are you playing? What's up with you? How's it going?
What's up with me?
What's
I don't
up?
know. I ask that to myself every single morning. What's up with me? No, hi. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Kienna. I'm the the channel. My pronouns are she and they. But today I am playing Irina Blackwell, whose pronouns are she and her. She is the forger of the group. Secret mom of the group. Less secret now. Mom. She's a mom.
Mom.
And survived Shanghai, surprisingly. Woo.
For now.
For now. So, yeah, heading over to Australia, which is going to be fun.
Yes, we're very excited over here. Let's head over to Allison.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Allie. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist. Her pronouns are she, her. And I heard on a podcast interview this week with our GM that she has a, quote, torrid love life. I'm just going to leave that right there.
Listen.
I mean, just because she's got like a boyfriend and sort of a girlfriend on two different continents, and I have dreams. I have dreams of a beautiful little polycule by the time this is all over.
I definitely supported that and always have and always will. So good.
Torrid.
Yes, I was on a podcast. It was called Romantic Dinner with the DM. It was super fun. Arcad and Prime do that. It was a super lovely chat, so if you want to check that out. We talked about many, many things. We talked about Masks of Nyarlathotep. We talked about me and Allie's home games. And of course, we talked about Missing Annie Lee. Thank you, Sphinx! Hi, Sphinx! Okay, let us go down to the man of the hour, Charlie Rapp, played by Just a Summer Job. Hi.
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 Hello, it's me, Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am playing one Mr. Charlie Rapp, who became very close to dying again. How many times can Charlie die and then be saved miraculously at the last second by the goodness of chat? Because last time, if we hadn't had the watch, it would have been time over. Game over for Charlie. And then this time, if we hadn't had the heal come in, it would have been game over for Charlie. So, like, your donations, like, actually do something, like, really important, which is save my sweet, sweet boy. Charlie is hot, so hot, already worth saving. He's pretty okay personality wise. He's rich and he's a psychic. So, like, what more could you want in a man? What more could you want in a man? I said his personality is pretty okay. I think that's generous.
That's a great point. You've really summarized everything anyone has ever thought about Charlie.
Yeah. This guy's pretty okay.
Yeah.
And he's hot as shit. And he's got tons of money.
Incredible. And last but not least, to our newest cast member, Eli.
Hey folks, I'm Eli, I use he, they pronouns. Today I'm playing Professor Winnie Finn, who also uses he, they pronouns. I don't know what all this other stuff is about. I'm just on vacation, must be. And apparently my bestie from a long time ago decided to die in my arms. So we're going to see what happens with that.
Yeah, it's not traumatizing at all. So I'm excited.
Super quirky and fun and weird.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get into it. If you have never joined us before, I have a handy-dandy recap to summarize a year and a half of this campaign. The investigators came together over the murder of their good friend Jackson Elias, who was investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition, the members of which were all formerly presumed dead. That led him, and now you all, to a conspiracy involving various death cults around the world. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. Yep. You know that these cults are amassing in specific locations around the globe and working together to build an airborne machine that will rupture and taint the sky to open the gate for their god, Nyarlathotep. It's like it's right above me, so I just wanted to do that. You have figured out that the date of the machine's launch will coincide with the solar eclipse on January 14th, 1926, a little over half a year from now, and that a great ritual will be performed in precise synchronicity. Thanks to remembering about a certain marine chronometer. Yes, it's all coming together. Specifically, last time, scholar Mu Xian finished translating the 7 cryptical books and the enclosed ritual, the Eye of Light and Darkness, a powerful ward against evil, one that used to protect the Red Pyramid at Dasher until the Carlisle expedition destroyed it to free their god. Mr. Mu taught Ganymede and Charles the magic they would need to enact this ritual. Meanwhile, Irene arranged the handoff of the scrolls to the group's ally, Anthony Chang, which was successful, although she was spotted. 10 days later, Chu Min on his last legs burst into Mu Xian's home and told the group about he and Zeb's reconnaissance mission to Grey Dragon Island, from which Zeb has yet to return. They were interrupted by Madame Lin's twin hireling sent to assassinate the investigators for betraying her. The group fled through the rainy Shanghai streets, fortunately assisted by Professor Winston Finn. Less fortunately, poison darts pelted Charlie, killing him. Winston pulled Charlie's body to the safety of the Stumbling Tiger Bar and Captain Nisoje Taro of the Japanese Imperial Navy, and Charlie was pulled back from the grave yet again, not by the demon possessing him, but perhaps by the spirit of his childhood sweetheart. But that is neither here nor there. For now, we're switching things up a little. Winston, about a month or two ago, you were sleeping fitfully in your home near Miskatonic University where you work. What does your home look like?
So I think it's small, and it's mainly because Winston still lives very close to his family. Like they sort of have like the main house, and Winston lives in like a sort of shack area nearby. So he doesn't really have like a large house at all whatsoever. It's pretty much just like a studio type deal, where he has like his bed and his desk and like a huge bookshelf, larger than anyone could ever need. And it is somewhat messy. Not somewhat, it is messy. He's not a very clean person, and it's one of those like, it's super messy to everyone else, but he knows where everything is, so it's fine to him. So yeah.
So you wake up with this dryness in your throat, and you see, maybe rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, not sure of what time it is. The light is strange. When you wake up, there's a tinge of green in the air like you would see during a cyclone. And you hear the kind of light scratching of pencil on paper.
I think I like sit up and look towards my desk to see if I can see anything over there or see where it's coming from.
You see a man sitting at your writing desk. His back is turned to you, but everything about him exudes fear.
I grab from my nightstand a semi-hefty book, just in case, and get up and start walking towards very slowly. Sorry, sir. This isn't your home, so I really need you to leave.
As you step toward him, there seems to be a much greater distance between your bed and your desk than you're used to. And you can hear low muttering as he apparently writes. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. Need help. Too big. Too ghastly. These dreams like Carlisle's, check that psychoanalyst files. All of them survived. They'll open the gate. Why? So the power and the danger is real. Many threads beginning. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? No quitters now. must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. And then he stops writing and turns over his shoulder to look at you. What do you do?
Do I recognize the face at all?
No. He's a black man, maybe a little older than you, with these kind of warm brown eyes, but they've obviously been, he looks haunted and he looks hunted. And he wears a fedora that's kind of askew.
I put the book down,
Mm-hmm.
and I sort of keep approaching slowly and just say, I'm not really sure what's wrong, but I can try to get you some help if you need it. What's your name?
My name. And he pauses for a while until he smiles, and again you see the remnants of what must once have been a very warm and dazzling smile. Jackson Elias. And then he kind of doubles over a bit, either in pain or exhaustion, and looks up at you. My friends need help.
Okay. Seems like you need help too, but who are your friends? Where?
Zeb. Zeb's a good kid. He's like a son. And Ganymede, she is so strong, but still so young inside. Lovely Irene. Her baby girl. Charles Rapp, he needs the most help of all. Probably. And he looks as if he's having a piercing headache. His hands go up to his head. Probably Shanghai at the scholars. Or if they've gotten farther than me. Australia. I never made it there. And he kind of laughs a bit and then looks up at you. Because I died.
I think I start trying to take in my surroundings a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see, is everything the way that it should be right now?
The tinge of green has become a wash of green, and you hear the sounds of a storm outside where there wasn't one before. And he doubles over again. Looks like he's going to fall out of the chair.
I think I rush forward to try to help him.
As you do, he kind of pulls himself up and says in your ear, "They need you. Robert needs you. We all need you, Winnie." And that is when the roof above you flies off. Above you can see a great green tear in the sky. And you hear the sounds of thousands upon thousands of unknowable creatures approaching this gate. But you can't pull yourself away from Jackson's grasp. He whispers in your ear, "Take this." And you feel a weight settle in your pocket. Tell them Tell them to shine a light. And the whole place begins to shake. And that is when you are shaken awake by your friend, Anthony Cowles. You are back in your room, maybe in your chair. It's morning. And Anthony is shaking you awake. You can see his daughter, Ava, kind of in your kitchen looking concerned.
Oh, hey.
You all right, Winston?
We'll say yes for now. It's a weird dream.
He nods, but you see Ava in the back kind of cross her arms. She says, "Of course he's not okay, Dad. Look at him, poor thing." And you hear her turning on a faucet and grabbing a rag and bringing you over a cool cloth. And you do realize, like, you are sweating.
Oh, thank you. Is everything okay? Is there something I can help you with?
Anthony, with his, he's got kind of a large bushy beard, smiles and says, we just wanted to say goodbye before the ship leaves. We start the journey back to Darwin today. Friend died. I'm to serve as executor of his estate. And
Oh,
yeah, he
sorry to hear.
Well, we weren't able to raise the funds for the expedition as I'd hoped, but at least I don't have to give him the bad news now. Maybe we'll have better luck in the future.
Darwin is where you're going?
He nods.
That's really weird. What expedition? Sorry.
He looks a bit like, not offended, but maybe lightly offended. And you see Ava in the background again roll her eyes, as she walks forward and she reaches into her dad's like breast pocket and pulls out a photograph that he carries of some odd-looking stone monoliths in the Australian outback, which I will show you now. Actually, let's go over to the maps. See how this is working out. Yeah, look at that. And it's kind of coming back to you. You remember Anthony was here to give a lecture in the hopes of raising funds to find this place because he thought it to be archaeologically significant.
Right. Sorry. Still a little bit out of it. Well, I hope the trip goes well. I'm sorry that we weren't able to help as much as you needed.
He shrugs. And Ava says, Dad's also disappointed because his friend didn't make the lecture.
Which friend?
He looks at you and says, do you know the author, Jackson Elias? And we cut to a few days later. You receive a letter, Winston, rerouted many times over. Inside is an old psychoanalyst's file regarding one Roger Carlyle. And you pack a bag that night. Now, for where we were. Back at sea, our favorite place to be. Investigators, you are standing aboard the deck of a civilian vessel populated by disguised Japanese Imperial naval officers. I will show everybody a picture now because Allie did some research for me, which I very much appreciate. The ship is called the Shibasu Maru. It's a tramp steamer. Definitely not what you were expecting from Captain Sojitaro, but here we are. Let's see. She's of Japanese registry, or at least she appears to be. Of course, you all, perhaps except Winston, but I'm sure somebody would have explained to him, looks can be deceiving. Its primary purpose is to support espionage activities against China and the international powers in Shanghai and other treaty ports. You'll get to know the ship better soon, but to the crew on board, their appearance matches that of their vessel. They wear no common uniform, but a combination of dirty, threadbare civilian and merchant marine gear. You are now far enough out from Shanghai that presumably Madame Swallow can't get to you. Charlie is still recovering. Charlie, you feel sick constantly. I think they brought you a bucket at this point. It's just you're in a lot of pain. The officers or the enlisted aboard are confused. But Captain Isoje, of course, has rank, and they are standing at attention as he questions you. Explain. Explain to me why you exposed my cover. A cover I had cultivated for months. I know you believe you found the true source of the weapon that we thought the Fermis were making, but what that has to do with a flower house owner trying to kill you or going to Australia is beyond me. So explain. And make it good, because I am still not sure if I'm going to put you back on shore and let the Swallow have her way with you.
Ganymede, if it weren't such a serious situation, you might laugh. She is having a really hard time not popping to attention to respond to this kind of authority. And so where she's normally really animated when she talks, her hands are down at her side and she's having a hard time responding. And she says, well, Captain, it's rather a long story. You see, Madame Swallow, and I'm kind of looking at the rest of you as well, feel free to fill in at any point. She wanted the book, see, the scrolls, because, well, they hold the key. They hold the key to preventing the cult from accomplishing its aims, and that's why we need to go to Australia. Yes, right? What did I miss?
He inhales sharply through his nostrils, just keeping everything, buttoned up, and then he turns to Irene.
Irene, very politely, I think during this entire time where he's been mad, has, politely very much bowed and just, stands back up again. If you were to continue your, investigation, you would have stumbled across Madame Swallow's role and everything. I'm very sorry that we broke your cover. I understand it was a lot of work, and it's very crucial to what you do. But There are a lot of stakes going on. And I knew from our conversations that you were someone we could trust, and hopefully we can repay this beyond what information we've already provided you.
Did you discover the location of this weapon?
We have, other than seeing it for ourselves, have a very good idea about where it is. Is that the island, right? My brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That island, it's probably see some ships going back and forth from there.
He turns to his second in command, and they have an exchange in Japanese. And then he barks orders to someone, presumably a medic, who comes over to Charlie to take him to be treated. And Captain Esogetero, I think, takes a long time once everything has been said. You have convinced me before that you are not delusional. Have you any more proof of what you say? Last time it was something about Ho Fang, and now this swallow woman.
Phrasing. God, I am trying to think. If we have anything.
So am I.
It's like, do we have anything on us?
Proof?
We gave we made
You-
sure the 7 cryptical books was out of our hands.
Yep.
We duh.
You have something. I'm certain.
Yeah, it's one this for us to just be like,
Well, when you broke into not Ho Fang's home, but Ho Fang's warehouse, you did find things pointing to Grey Dragon Island.
Yeah. I have the blueprints too, don't I?
Oh, yes, you do. That
Yeah,
would be
you do.
helpful.
yes.
I don't remember
Yeah.
if you showed those to him before, but
No, I definitely didn't show them to
Yeah.
him. So we're quiet for a moment when he asks for proof, and then Ganymede says, "Yes, of course. The blueprints. We have some technical diagrams for the machine. Would be happy to show those to you."
he nods.
Yeah. Are we on deck, by the way, or are we below deck at this point?
I think you're on
or-
deck.
Yeah.
It stopped raining.
So then Ganymede reaches into her duffel bag and pulls out this leather tube, which she opens, and she's fumbling with them for a bit, and then she says, Well, they're rather large. I could show you here, and she starts to pull them out of the tube.
This time he like breathes out and says to those of you who are there, follow me. And then he stops suddenly and turns on his heel and looks at you, Winston. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Professor Winston Finn, friend of Charlie's.
He looks at Ganymede and Irene. What happened to the other one?
He's on the island, actually, or he was when he was last seen. They were pursuing him. Her voice trails off.
He nods and then continues on his way. Hard to read as ever. Hi, TPK Roleplay. Thank you for the raid. Hi, friends. We're playing some Call of Cthulhu. So he leads you down. I think the holds are mostly empty. But the captain will take you to his quarters so you can show him the blueprints. Yeah.
And I do. I unroll them on the table, or as much of them as I can, because quarters are tight here. And I start to walk him through what we know. This isn't exactly my area of expertise, but I had a very trusted friend, an engineer, take a look at them, and he described this, and I begin to share with him what we know. I don't think I'm holding anything back from him about the machine at this point.
Yeah, and I think because of his military background, like, I think some of this makes a little more sense to him than it would to somebody else, especially because this is what he was looking for in the first place. But as he examines them, and time passes, Charlie and all of you are kind of asked about what might be in his system. It is a nasty, customized poison, but they are, in fact, equipped to handle it. And as Captain Asoje finishes his perusal, he looks up at all of you who are gathered and kind of nods. Reaching Australia. Where in Australia? He breathes again during the pause.
Yeah. We have precious few leads, but those that we have point in the direction of Darwin, at least initially.
He nods, gives his second in command more orders, and then takes something from a drawer in his desk, It is an envelope addressed to Ganymede Graves.
Do I recognize the hand?
Yep, that's from John Craig. From your torrid love life.
From half of my torrid love life.
Yes.
Captain, how did you come to possess this?
We were
I might
intercepting your mail.
She just sort of nods with that and puts it into, slides it into a pocket for later reading. Thank you. This was all?
Yes.
Very good.
Alrighty, so time will pass. I'd like to hand it over to y'all for any conversations, anything you'd like to get done, because this journey will take 2.5 weeks. Yes, Summer, was that a raised hand?
No, I was ill. I'm just like, I'm so
yes.
sick.
You are. You're super sick.
Yeah.
But you'll recover. You'll be okay. By the time you all get to Australia, you'll all be fully healed.
Woo. No, I'd love to have a chat with our new friends.
Oh, good. I was like, might I suggest the stranger who showed up,
The stranger that
No idea
showed
what you're
up.
talking about.
who might have valuable information pertinent to your investigation?
Who knows?
I don't know. Whatever you want to do, though.
Yeah, so I definitely imagine like this is probably after the initial hubbub of everything has gone down, like the conversation with Captain Soche, like Charlie being attended to. It's just like that first little lull of like, okay, we don't have anything we need to do right now.
Yeah, after you've gotten like used to the ship, which is very different because you've mostly been on commercial vessels or the Daring, and this is small and empty, and it moves even when the sea is calm.
Yeah. So where would I find Winnie?
Winnie's probably trying to stick as close to Charlie as possible, but also giving Charlie the space he needs from when he needs it. So
maybe like a medic has like kicked us both out.
Mhm.
Like, go away, he needs sleep. Okay. Sorry, I realized we haven't had the chance to introduce ourselves and to thank you for helping. I'm Irene Blackwell. And she'll like stick out her hand kind of very awkwardly.
Winnie Finn, just call me Winnie, and they'll shake your hand back. Is this normal occurrence for all of you?
You know, we get asked that question more often than most people would, and I have to say yes, more often than most people would. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
That's
sure
only a little concerning, but yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of questions about that.
Surprisingly less than you would think.
You said that you are. Do you know Charlie?
Yeah, so I know Charlie from a while back. We sort of ran into each other when I was doing some studying of my work. Haven't really been in much contact, but still consider him a friend.
Oh. what a coincidence then, to meet up again in Shanghai of all places, halfway across the world.
Yeah, about coincidence. So here's the thing. I was kind of, sort of, sent here, or I guess sent to Shanghai, possibly Australia. We'll get to that. But someone told me that you all needed my help.
That yeah, it's a smaller list than I would hope, but I mean, I can imagine. Can I ask who?
Do you know Jackson Elias?
I think Irene's expression immediately drops into just pure shock. Jackson?
Yes. Funny enough, he kind of visited me in a dream where he was dead.
Did was he talking about several things about being around the world and needing to stop something from happening?
Yeah, that's precisely what he was. Yes. I kind of try to give a quick rundown of what happened in the dream. You say, I don't know. I don't typically just go on extra long trips based off of dreams that I have, but there were some things that led me to believe that this was more than a dream, and I should probably explore this avenue.
Well, other than Charlie being a mutual friend, seems like we have other common ground already.
Oh, that's good.
May I ask, what, you do? You,
Oh, I'm a professor at Miskatonic.
well, I don't,
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, it's a university in New York.
Oh, yes, I think one of Jackson's. Anyways, a professor. Well, I imagine then, if you have been sent to join this, how much do you, how much do you know, I guess, about what we're trying to do here?
It's a great question.
Irene's just like, okay, do I have to give you the 101 rundown, that cult and eldritch shit's real, or do I just jump into the whole schemes things?
So, I know sort of the things Charlie can do. I'm still somewhat learning about. I'm a professor of the occult, so some of this stuff is things that I've studied, but it's sort of sifting fact from fiction at this point.
Well, that's a nice, refreshing difference. That I don't have to convince you that magic may exist, and there are things far beyond our understanding for most people. So, I guess to explain why this is more of a common occurrence than it should be, we were on a expedition with Jack Elias almost a decade ago now, and we stumbled across some strange things that can't be explained, including a man who cannot die, strange corpses, sacrificial things, vampiric almost. And he wrote a book about it. Then years later, he invited us back to meet up with him in New York, and he had been murdered by a cult. And, well, in searching for his murderers, we've come across something far, far, far beyond just that. That cult wasn't working alone. Rather, it's connected to all these other cults across the world. So we've been to England. We obviously landed in Shanghai for that same reason, and now to Australia. They mean
Darwin.
to, yeah, yes. Kind of like, yes. I assume that was part of your dream?
The Darwin part, not so much. I have a... How do I describe Anthony Cowles in relation to me? Colleague.
He's a
Colleague can carry a lot of weight
He's
there.
a chum.
Chum.
Buddies.
Old
Wow.
chum.
Yeah.
Dr. Anthony Cowles came to Miskatonic to give a lecture to fund an expedition to see some things, and he was headed back to Darwin to take over someone's estate. So yeah, it's been a weird few months, honestly.
I can imagine. So, I guess I don't really understand the mechanics of it all, but each of these cults plan to have a part in a grand ritual that will be happening about 8 months from now. I believe each of them have some form of machine or something. You'd have to ask Enemy the details. I don't quite understand it. We foiled some of that plans in England. We have a pretty good idea of where they have one in Shanghai, but considering the long term of everything, 8 months, it felt more prudent to go to Australia, where I believe they have the backup, the parts, the suppliers. We've seen packages and crates in all of our locations from Australia. So if we remove that, then we can assume that if we go back, they won't be able to repair anything, rather than strike now destroy the machines, and then just have them rebuild it within the 8 months it takes for us to go around everywhere.
Makes sense.
I'm sure this is a lot of information that certainly you did not sign up for when you stumbled across and were told to help us. And it is dangerous. Probably far beyond anyone could sensibly sign up for.
Well, Charlie's a good guy. And if he's decided to surround himself with all of you, I assume you're good people as well. I want to help in whatever way I can and make sure that at the bare minimum, Charlie doesn't try to die in my arms again, but extending that to all of you as well, and hopefully stop a lot of people from dying in the process.
He is a very good man indeed. And I can assume that you are of good character as well.
Yeah, I try to be.
Well, isn't that what we can only ask for?
Pretty much. I do have, and he goes into his little satchel and just pulls out the file. I have this. I was told that it would probably be helpful to our pronouns efforts. So he just hands it to Irene.
Yeah, she'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
And start flipping through it
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah. Have fun.
Just to have fun.
If you would like to read it aloud.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Well,
go.
Woo!
All right. First meeting, January 11th, 1918. Reference, Erica Carlisle. Closest relative, Erica Carlisle. At his sister's insistence, Mr. Roger Vane Worthington Carlisle visited me this morning. He deprecates the importance of his state of mind, but concedes that he has had some trouble sleeping due to a recurring dream in which he hears a distant voice calling his name. Interestingly, the voice uses Mr. Carlisle's second given name, Vane, by which Mr. Carlisle admits he always thinks of himself. Carlisle moves towards the voice and has to struggle through a web-like mist in which the caller is understood to stand. The caller is a man, tall, gaunt, dark. An inverted ankh blazes on his forehead. Following the Egyptian theme, Carlisle has had no conscious interest in things Egyptian, he says. The man extends his hands to Carlisle, his palms held outward. Pictured on his left palm, Carlisle discovers his own face. On the right palm, Carlisle sees an unusual, misshapen pyramid. The caller then brings his hands together, and Carlisle feels himself float off the ground into space. He halts before an assemblage of monstrous figures. Figures of humans with animal limbs, with fangs and talons, or of no particular shape at all. All of them circle a pulsating ball of yellow energy, which Carlisle recognizes as another aspect of the calling man. The ball draws him in. He becomes part of it and sees through eyes not his own. A great triangle appears in the void, its twisted symmetry of the same fashion as the vision of the pyramid. Carlisle then hears the caller say, "And become with me a god." As millions of odd shapes and forms rush into the triangle, Carlisle wakes. Carlisle does not consider this dream a nightmare, although it upsets his sleep. He says that he revels in it and that it's a genuine calling, although my strong impression is that he actually is undecided about it. An inability to choose seemed to characterize much of his life. September 18th, 1918. He calls her Mueru?
Mhm.
Yeah. Maweru, Anastasia, and my priestess. He is obsessive about her, as well as he might be. Exterior devotion is certainly one way to ease the tensions of megalomaniacal contradictions. She is certainly a rival to my authority. December 3rd, 1918. If I do not go, Carlyle threatens exposure. If I do go, all pretense of analysis surely will be lost. What then will be my role? Cool. Fun. Normal shit to see. Yeah. So I think Irene like very quickly like skims through this. Oh. Huh.
Yeah, that's about what I said as well.
Yes, so if you hadn't inferred yourself, this Carlisle expedition is very much connected to all of this.
Hmm.
They were drawn into whatever was happening. And although it was supposed to be just a expedition, it was really what they had planned to do was, well, destroy one of the seals, I believe. Something that protected against this plan that they had to, this cultish plan. So they went to Egypt and destroyed it. Only one of them managed to maintain his senses. And we actually met with him in Shanghai, though I'm not sure how much longer he'll be there considering everything blew up a little bit and we got chased out of town.
That's where I came in. Yeah.
Yeah. So, not sure where our journey will take us exactly, but I can imagine Australia, and somewhere in that is Africa.
Okay. Well, it seems like we've got a journey ahead.
Yep, it's been a very long one already, and still much to go from here.
Are you okay?
And I'm not sure, really. We had to leave someone behind. And we don't know if he's alive or dead.
I'm sorry that you weren't able to get closure on that. But hopefully it will come soon.
Seb is, he's clever. And very, very, driven, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But I can't help but worry a little bit.
I understand.
And it doesn't help that Charlie has decided to almost die yet again.
So he's still doing that almost dying thing.
Uh,
That's,
was this something that he did before?
you know, near misses. He's a bit reckless, if I do say so.
Yes. No, I think we can agree on that. Good character, still reckless.
I think at this point I want to check in with the man of the hour.
Who's?
Me?
Yes.
Who? Me?
Yes. I regret it already, but so as you've been recovering,
Yes.
you've been able to keep some stuff down. They serve kind of this so what is it called, Ali? Mugi meshi? The rice and the barley, and with fish and beef and pickled vegetables. So maybe, I think by this point, wherever we are in the journey, Charlie has been able to keep food down finally.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to do? Any conversations you'd like to have?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I also would want to talk with Winnie at some point.
Yeah.
How much do I remember stuff? What do I remember about?
About this one, you can remember. This death, you remember.
Great. Okay. Well, I just, like trauma is crazy. So, yeah. So, do I remember seeing somebody? Maybe
Yes.
a little bit. Okay. Cool. And I remember my demon.
Yeah.
Saying something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. I'm in recovery, vibing. I'm like sweaty, but it's like attractive. And yeah, now that I'm able to stay hydrated and like eat food, feeling really good. Yeah. So I think he's just really laying low for the most part, and almost dying is really hard. It's brutal. Charlie does remember doing it before, so this is a little bit different than that.
Mm-hmm.
The recovery process is different. Being poisoned is different than car accidents.
Yes.
But still sucks big time. So yeah, I think he's just kind of laying low, but yeah, he would definitely want to see Winnie.
Okay. Why don't we'll all come together with Winnie after I just check in with Ganymede. Sup, girl?
Well, once the awkward explanations are out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
Ganymede is right at home.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she probably took the first opportunity that she could to get in uniform, and be proper and shipshape and Bristol fashion and so forth. So, I imagine she has. I imagine she's tried to help the crew and has been just like shut down at every turn. Of course, they have no interest in her assistance and no need for it. And so she has been reading her books, the magic books that we discovered. So continuing to do that. I think it's probably 2 days before she gets around to reading the letter, because now that she has it in her hands, she's quite nervous about what she might find there. But she finally does that once she's exhausted all opportunities to distract herself from doing so.
Yeah, so the letter asks about the investigation. It was written pretty soon after you left. Y'all had arranged where you were going, so he knew where to send it. Asking how everyone is, when will he see you again. He tells you that he made sure Annabelle got home back to South Carolina. He's been keeping an eye on Beatrix and your grandfather, kind of off the books, making sure the Brotherhood doesn't try and get a hold back in England. And there's a photograph of you two that Zeb took on the last day in England at the cottage. It's very cute. It's very sweet.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she tucks that photograph and letter into her journal, and is noticeably in a better mood after that. I think she was kind of in a bit of a foul mood after not being allowed to help at all and just kind of having to be a passenger on board this ship. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. So let us all gather together as Charlie is well enough to walk the ship, even though it probably makes all of you sick except for Ganymede. But yes, we can all gather back together.
Charlie still, I think, looks particularly ill. But it's probably the first time that you've seen him up and about since everything happened. Because that it was fucking brutal. But yeah, he's smiling. He's,
You're looking well, Charles.
I wish I was feeling well, but definitely not dead. So, got that going for me.
I'm sure we have several days of the sun and the salt air. I'm sure you'll be feeling shipshape by the time we arrive in Darwin.
Fingers crossed. So, I'm assuming that you've all had time to meet. He's kind of looking over at Winnie. I think Charlie missed all the introductions. He was quite unconscious. Teach here, and I go way back.
You see Winnie sort of flinch and smile at Teach. And they just say, yeah, I've been sort of filled in on this situation as it stands.
Good. Glad that you guys handled that.
I'm sorry, perhaps this is an Americanism that I don't fully grasp. The nickname.
Teach?
I'm a professor at Miskatonic, and Charlie so lovingly has decided to call me Teach because of that. So,
did you ever have the opportunity then to have Charles as a student, or?
No, they weren't
God,
quite that
no.
lucky. If anything, Winnie was more of a student of mine, right?
Oh wow, that is the way to frame it. I would say yes. I'll agree with that. I'll give you that point.
Ah. Yes. Well, we've all learned a great deal from Charles.
It's not every day that you meet a genuine psychic.
You'll be most interested, Professor, then in some of the texts that we've managed to collect along the way. Perhaps I can show them to you, unless Charles already has.
Oh no, Charles has been incapacitated. Yes, I would love to see any texts that you have collected. Books are my strong suit, so yes.
Yes. Yes, well.
And Winnie shared this file that he received as well, and will show the records.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how interesting. Mweru. I'm not familiar with the source of that word or name, whatever it is. Does this language look familiar?
Someone could make an anthropology check.
Damn, thank God I'm so good at anthropology.
Oh, cool. Let's see.
I barely used that. I put 60 points into it.
Yep. It is a name. It is Kenyan in origin.
I believe it's referring to someone from Kenya, which would connect to where those interesting artifacts were being brought in at the in New York.
Yes. Another destination on our itinerary, perhaps.
It's an ever-growing list.
You say you have 8 months to handle all of this?
Yes, that's right, until the eclipse.
It's just a lot of traveling. I've never really been outside of the States, so it just seems like a lot to do a little amount of time.
Yes, you're right. It's the travel alone will take up most of it, I'm afraid, but there's no time to waste, as you say.
True. Do you have any leads for once we get to Darwin?
We have an address, right? Don't we have an address? A shipping address?
Yes, you have the name of a shipping company, the Randolph Shipping Company.
Yeah, we've got a shipping company that we need to check out. Should at least narrow things down a little bit.
Good to have a plan.
We don't have a name of a journalist here, do we?
No.
Okay.
But Winnie has a friend.
Old chum. Well, I know Dr. Cowles, I told Irene Dr. Cowles was on its way back to Darwin. Last I spoke with him, maybe he might have some information that would be helpful.
Lovely. We can set up a meeting. I'm sure you know or would hope that Danny or Irene had made it pretty clear to you that, or if it wasn't obvious, what we're doing is dangerous.
I kind of gathered from the fact that your near death experience and me having to save your ass, but yeah.
Right. We have had plenty of opportunities to turn back. Want to make sure that you're given that same opportunity.
Well, I'm here to help. I don't want whatever this is to take any of you, and it seems like if whatever this is happens, it will have greater implications than just the three of you. So I think I would be better suited helping than just waiting for a disaster to come.
I'm just realizing that I've not asked, and although we may already know what Winnie's academic specialization is, what have they studied, or what do they teach?
They teach the occult.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he knows Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, we could certainly use someone with your unique expertise, Professor.
Yes, I'm happy to offer any of the knowledge I have. I know I was telling Irene before, it's a lot of sifting fact from fiction, but I have a lot to sift through. So if things come up, I can definitely offer what I have.
Well,
Okay. Yes. Okay. Is there anything, again, before we dock, I just want to make sure, because this is like the most kind of downtime we have is usually on these travel things.
Is there anything that we can do ahead of time? I would assume to like prepare for when we land, to make things like move a little bit faster. Like, is there? It's like hard to like say like we'll get word there before we get there. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
actually, the ship does have kind of top of the line radio equipment.
oh hell yeah!
So if you wanted to get a message to Professor Anthony Cowles, you could.
That'd be
tell him
great.
to like meet you at the docks.
That'd be super great.
Yeah.
such a good idea.
Yeah, great. Easily done. Is there anything particular with any of your books or any of your items?
I have a million books, but I don't know what the names of any of the ones I have left are. Do you know? I have like 6 books, and I just finished one, so I need a new book.
Yeah,
you finished. I've got Life as a God done, Trappings of a Queen done, Dizzian book done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 whole books I've finished.
Yeah. And we decided
Such an avid reader.
And Ganymede has the Necronomicon and the
yes,
the Liber Avonis or Libre de Yvonne. Either one, they're the same thing.
That's the one that I finished.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we will find something for Charlie.
just some light reading, you know.
Yeah, we will find something for Charlie.
Amazing.
Do you use your urn on the journey, Charlie?
Great. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I shall.
Okay. What do you say?
Oh my gosh. Okay, it recharges every 1d4 plus 1 days. But more than enough time.
Yeah.
And I can remind me again the specifics of like I can get like one thought through, right?
Basically.
Like one connection.
Yeah, it's like a sentence or two, basically.
And they have to be alive.
You don't know.
Great. I'm gonna try and send a message to Annie.
Oh, shit. Okay. What do you send?
I'm gonna tell her that if she hasn't, she needs to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Charlie, with everything that's happening and like all of the darkness that's like settling in and like the time crunch is like now, Charlie is worried about even spirits being in danger. And seeing her is both, he's hopeful that like if he was dead, right? Like if he was dead for that moment, that she is on the other side, right? She's like not here.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know for certain where she is.
Yeah.
And so he's basically sending out a warning into the universe to her that's like, you can't be in danger. Like, I can't protect you in life, but I can maybe protect you in death, like from the corruption that's like settling in.
Make a medium check.
Make a what?
Medium. Your psychic ability.
A hard success.
So as you... Oh, what scent does it have this time? Because when you tried to contact Zara, of course it smelled like cumin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It kind of smells... It smells like lemonade tastes.
Okay, yeah. As you focus and you send this thought, that kind of vision where she was backlit and you could kind of see the outline of her hair comes back into focus. And you only get back one thing. But it sounds just like her. But what she says makes you think of someone else, because she says, "Charles, you can see me?" And that's it.
Great. So fun. Great.
Of course,
Thank
that will
you.
recharge in 1d4 plus 1 days.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and just do that. 4 days.
Great. All right. So then Charles gets back to reading, as does Ganymede. is there anything else, any other questions or anything before we dock?
I would try and make sure that Winnie was as filled in as freaking possible.
Yeah.
All the notes, like all of Irene's sketches, like literally everything that we can think that we can give them to prepare him as much as possible, and get him up to date. I think also one thing that Charlie does is write about like 16 or 17 drafts of a letter trying to explain to Annabelle where Zeb is. Like,
Oh, sure.
and like, if he's not reading or like working with Winnie, like that's what he's doing, is trying to write this letter. And like just like failing on repeat, like not knowing how to explain, and also like having that like really like sinking gut feeling, like, is Zeb even alive? Like, is he dead? You know?
Yeah.
And I think Charlie is actually purposely avoiding reaching out to Zeb, trying to make spiritual contact, because he like literally at this moment can't stomach knowing.
Yeah.
But will eventually, obviously, ask his cards. Just not today. Not on this trip.
Yeah. All right, then. So, as you head into the docks of Darwin, Captain Isogitaro, still in his disguise, is prepared to see you all off. Are you asking him to wait for you?
I mean, it would be nice if he did. It would be nice. Does he have anything better to do?
Oh, you know, find that weapon, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that could go poorly.
And also, we could need to leave urgently
Yeah.
at some point.
You could
He could
need
not be
to
here.
travel somewhere else in this vast continent.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we would have had a discussion about that over the 2 weeks at some point. Just be like, what is the best? If we can't convince him, do we want him to stay to give us rides? Do we want to try and like contract a second ship and send him off to go do something?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Would Ganny have any connections that could get us a boat while we're here in Australia?
Maybe we could.
Or maybe her grandfather would have connections even if Ganny didn't know them.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I could have used that wireless to route a message to the Daring, wherever they are. At this point, I mean, I would have no idea where they are, just that they left. They steamed out of Liverpool about the time that we left the UK, right? So, yeah, so I think it would have been natural for Ganymede to do that, to send a message and let her grandfather know that we're in Darwin, and that that I'll send a message again if we need to leave, and probably ask that question. You know, if you have any old Navy friends or scientific colleagues in Australia, please pass that on.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably to the telegraph office in Darwin.
Okay. Great.
And then we can. I like the idea of having the Shibasu Maru nearby if we need to move quickly. I also really like the idea of sending them to spy on that island, right? I mean, this is what they do. And since we know we're going to have to go back there and deal with that thing eventually, it would be great to have some intel before we go.
Also, keeping eyes out for Zeb would be good to have somebody who knows who he is and is like, would be able to keep eyes out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are bidding farewell to Captain Isoje Taro for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's just a moment as we're leaving, where Ganymede would say, I think we would have had this conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, we have no authority of any kind, but it would be quite useful to have as much intelligence as possible before we have to return to Grey Dragon Island, and of course, thank you for your trust. If we can help you in any way, you know, I'm sure how to get word to us.
Yes, you all are not difficult to find.
And as we're preparing to leave, I imagine that this is undercover, right? That we're in the wheelhouse or something like that, and so Ganymede would kind of come to attention and salute, and be ready to go.
All right. So, as you disembark and Winnie, you see Professor Anthony Cowles and his daughter Ava waiting for you. The rest of you can spot trucks with Randolph Shipping Company in the streets, moving about. And Winnie, you feel a weight shift in your pocket. You kind of remember from the dream that, whether you've thought about it before now, but it feels like something's in there.
I think I try to do this discreetly,
Mm-hmm.
but I take it out of my pocket and look at it.
Inside is a pocket watch with 4 gems on the cover in the cardinal directions. And that is where we're going to end today's episode.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's cute.
Ooh,
From New
so
Orleans.
fancy. Shapes people's lives.
Maybe. Nobody has it right now, technically. So, we're going to go around and chat with everybody. Let us start with Eli.
Hey, I'm Eli. I played Winnie. You can find me at Reliable Elliot. I'm reeling. That was such a great session. I'm like, I loved all of the getting all of the info, and then like also being able to say, yeah, there's this extra info too, and I know that, and I know that. Cool, excellent. So yeah, thanks again for having me. This is great.
Awesome. Excellent. Let us go over to Summer.
Hi, it's me, Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. Yeah, I love that we're gonna be in Australia. Super excited.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna kick ass, and I'm not dead, and that is a big deal to me. And everyone cares deeply if I'm alive or dead. Until next week. Goodbye.
Let's go up to Allison.
I love these kind of in-between episodes. Gives us a chance to to regather and regroup and get letters from our boyfriends and stuff like that, just basic stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y, where I tweet about space and robots and games and cool stuff like that. If that's your jam, come and follow me there. And I'm just so excited that we're back after our summer break, and can't wait for next week.
Awesome. Let's go over to Kienna. Kienna, you got anything to say for yourself?
I don't have anything to say for myself. I don't know. Yeah, this was awesome. God, love being able to be like, hello, stranger friend. Let us be friends. So that's really cool. But yeah, I'm Kienna. You can find me over on Twitter at KiennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing when I'm not here on the channel. Mostly just here though. I do have some cool things that are coming up that I can announce shortly. Beginning of September. Can't say anything yet, but eyes out for stuff. Soon. I promise I'll be able to talk about them soon. But for now, yeah, just find me here. What about you, Lauren?
Me, I am here. I run this game every Saturday morning. It's like your Saturday morning cartoon. Also, go listen to Missy Nanny Lee. It's everywhere podcasts can be found. If you like horror, if you like emotions, that too, you'll like this. It's short, sweet, scary. Otherwise, yes, Twitter and all that. I think I said that. Salty Ginger, that one. So channel stuff. Tomorrow is the finale of Good Society. We have to push it back a week, but that is tomorrow. Very exciting stuff. Lots of drama. Someone's probably gonna die. Fingers crossed for Theo. No, I love you.
Don't wish death upon me, Lauren.
No, just it would be like super dramatic, you like fling yourself in front of the bullet from Pandolf's gun that's gonna hit Namdi. It's really good. It's a really good Good Society show. But that'll be tomorrow at noon Pacific. And what else? Thank you to our sponsors, Roll20, Dice, Envy, Grinding Coffee Co. And Mr. Live Producer, you won the giveaway. Yay! Super duper exciting. We're gonna have more of those as the season in Australia progresses. So that is awesome. What else do I have to say to you? Follow us on Twitter so you can see when we're gonna go live. We want to get back to Baldur's Gate 3 because it's so much fun. And follow us over on YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube. So if you ever miss an episode, you can catch up because we upload all the VODs there. And what else? Is that everything? Did I do everything? Did I do it?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's just time to go say hi to some friends.
Yes, we're gonna go raid Invert, our pal, our Emporium pal. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna say hi to him, and it's gonna be great. And we will see you all next week for Australia. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Sure it is. I'm sure there's nothing weird that's gonna happen. There's so many weird things here. I can't wait. I'm super excited. Okay, wave bye everybody. Goodbye.